They said life would only pause for a moment, yet the silence stretched into days, into months, until it reshaped how we live, learned, and dreamed. This is the story of a time we could not touch each other, but never stop holding on. When classrooms became screens. I was in junior high, almost entering the fourth quarter, when everything suddenly stopped. One ordinary school day, we were told to go home because classes were suspended. My classmates and I actually cheered. We thought it would be just a short break, a few days of rest. None of us imagined that the quick announcement would turn into almost 2 years of staying inside our homes, cut off from the normal school life we were used to. When modular and online classes began, the reality finally hit me. The classroom noise I once complained about was replaced by the quiet of our house. My classmates became small boxes on a screen, sometimes frozen, sometimes muted, and nothing felt the same. The modules piled up on the table, and learning became something I had to face mostly on my own. The excitement of no classes disappeared, replaced by the slow realization that we were stuck in a situation we never asked for. Looking back, those months taught me how quickly life can change. The pandemic took away the simple things I didn't know I would miss: walking with friends after class, group activities, and hearing other students rushing in the hallway. Even though it was difficult, it made me understand how strong we can be when things become uncertain. When classrooms became screens, I learned to adjust, to keep going, and to grow in ways I didn't expect.
The weight of isolation. The isolation of online classes didn't just change our routines, it changed the way many people saw themselves. Months of staying at home, missing friends, and staring at screens altered our habits and sometimes our appearances. What might have been small changes in our bodies or faces became a source of anxiety once we returned to school. Social media and casual comments from peers made body shaming more visible, turning what was already a stressful transition into an emotional burden. Some students even preferred wearing masks not just for health but also as a shield from judgment about their appearance. The pandemic revealed how deeply society scrutinizes young people, showing that challenges of the homebound experience extended far beyond academics. The doorways I stepped through. Before the pandemic, I never thought much about the doorways in my life. They were just ordinary frames I passed through every day: school, home, and the outside world, where people's opinions were loud and often unkind. My voice back then was small, easily shaken by what others thought about my appearance and who I was supposed to be. But when pandemic came, everything changed. The world shut its doors and suddenly I was inside, quiet, safe, and away from the noise of unsolicited opinions. At first, the silence felt unfamiliar, but slowly it became comforting. My tone softened into calmness. I found comfort in staying indoors where no one could judge how I looked, where I didn't have to face the pressure of being seen, and where I finally had space to breathe. The doorway of my room became a boundary that protected me. Inside, I learned to enjoy my own company. I discovered small routines that made me feel whole: journaling, resting, and simply being myself without comparison. My voice grew clearer, warmer, no longer drowned by the world outside. But when the pandemic ended, the doors reopened. Stepping outside felt like entering a loud hallway again. People noticed changes in me: my body, my appearance, offering comments I never asked for. Their unsolicited words stung. For a moment, the confident voice I built inside those quiet walls trembled again. Yet, something had changed within me. Thanks to that experience, I realized I am stronger now. All those months behind the closed door taught me to listen to myself before anybody else. Even when others tried to define me, I refused to shrink. I learned to love myself more deeply, not because the world became kinder, but because I finally became kinder to myself. Now, every time I stand in front of a doorway, I heard two voices. The old one filled with doubt, and the new one steady with love. And with each step forward, I choose the voice that reminds me of my worth.
During the pandemic, these words become real for all of us. We endured months of lockdown, sickness, fear, and loss. Yet, we continued to cope. In small ways, in daily routines, in the people we love. The pandemic showed us that Filipino strength is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes, strength is quiet. A person sharing food from their pantry, a frontliner going to work every day, a student trying to learn despite the slow internet, a family praying together for their safety. Evangelista's word reminds us that surviving is not just a physical act, it is emotional, cultural, and deeply human. We endured because we needed to, and we hope because hope is part of who we are as Filipinos.
How I became independent. During the pre-pandemic era, I used to be carefree and easily enjoyed simple life. I was the firstborn child of my parents. I can proudly say that we were rich, with love, faith, and contentment. My father had a physical disability, but it never was a hindrance to make him give up making a living. Those were the moments that I fully relied on my father because he made sure that we were his princesses, though not the rich ones. Though I was already in high school, I didn't know most of the house chores because he made sure to do them. Hence, I was used to my father being around and doing things for us out of love. But everything changed when the pandemic came. His illness came back, and hospitals rejected him because they were focused on COVID patients. I do understand that, but it pained me seeing my father endure pain. Because of that, he stayed at our house. During those days, I witnessed his sufferings, but I was happy because we did our responsibility as daughters during his struggles. It may be God's way that because of my father's illness, I learned to do housework. My father taught me and guided me even though his condition worsened. Since everyone was locked down, I stayed out at our home and my father educated me about house things as I was the eldest. My favorite work that he taught me was cooking. I remember I would bring the super kalan beside his bed so he could guide me step by step. I failed my first cooking because he said that pwede na, meaning that I could do better next time. Since I've learned to cook, I prepared his food since my mother is a housemaid and she's a stay-in Muntinlupa. Those moments ended when he died after 6 months, but I was not very sad because deep in my heart, I did my best to take care of him and show that I love him. My father's death opened a path for me to be fully independent. I needed to be independent because there's no one my mother trusts us with, so we needed to be on our own. After his death, things were not very heavy because he taught me everything to his will. His disappearance changed my life. After the pandemic, I'm very thankful to my father because in this life, I experienced being a princess that is full of love and faith. The great things that made this pandemic worth remembering are the memories that brought me to who I am now, and the regret that I should have shown those learnings from him when I was still alive, so he could feel that he raised a good daughter who was willing to do everything to ease his pain. Pandemic, you caused so many lives to be lost, but I'm very grateful that you opened my path to be fully independent. Healthcare accessibility lessons from my father's story. With my father's experience, I can say that healthcare accessibility in our country is a privilege, not a right. I did understand the COVID patients were priority, but my father too was fighting for his life, a cancer, but he was rejected in public hospitals. He was only accepted when he was dying, and after a night, he was declared dead. To be honest, I came to the moment that I generalized my hate for doctors. Every time I saw them, specifically when I was assigned in the hospital for our senior high school OJT, I never felt proud of them, though sometimes I witnessed their efforts doing around for a patient. But it changed because I realized that everything happens for a reason, and my father's story ended that time. Hence, his experience taught us that we must invest in our healthcare insurance so that when the time comes, you and your children won't worry.
Sometimes I look back at those years and wonder if the silence taught us more than the noise ever did. When the pandemic hit, it felt like the whole country held its breath, not because we wanted to, but because we had no choice. And maybe that is the strange part of being Filipino. We adapt even when we are tired. We endure even when we know it is unfair. We laugh at the edge of something painful because the alternative is to break. We are the embodiment of the word resilience. But every story in this parade, whether quiet or chaotic, carries the same pulse. We all lost something. We all wait. We all learn the shape of fear. Yet somehow, we also found ways to take care of one another. A neighbor handing food across the gate. Families sharing data so someone could attend class. Strangers online sending help to people they would never meet. Small things that look ordinary at the surface but carry the weight of who we became in that moment. Being Filipino during the pandemic was not about perfect strength. It was about refusing to disappear. It was about showing up for each other in whatever way we could. And maybe that is our real resilience. Not loud, not heroic, just steady enough to keep the light on while the rest of the world trembled. And when the world finally opened its doors again, we walked out carrying proof that we survived together.
Once the world fell silent, but in that silence we learned to speak again. Through screens, through distance, through fear and hope. Pandemic stories are not just about loss. They are the proof that we survived, that we kept learning, kept caring, kept believing tomorrow would arrive, and when it finally did, we walked forward carrying each other's stories, not as endings but as beginnings.